in Mississippi. And he's wearing his Cubs hat, World Series Cubs hat right now. So he's going to be on the set at 9:20. And he's making a Tito's handmade vodka cocktail and a Four Roses bourbon cocktail. Brian, what's the name of your new company?
Southern Renaissance Cocktail Consulting and Catering.
Southern Renaissance Cocktail Consulting and Catering. We'll tell you more about that when Brian hits the set here in 20 minutes. But we're super excited that Brian was kind enough to come up, feature a couple of cocktails. It's the holidays, so when Brian and I were talking yesterday, and I was like, man, look, people do a little bit more during Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we'd like to share, or Brian would like to share a couple of recipes with you, and he may throw out a couple more. But we would love for you to watch on the webcam. And, well, you get to watch me and Brian sip on the cocktails, and Brian's going to tell us what all he put in them and then what all he's doing right now. And it's a lot of fun what's happening with recipes and mixology and everything that people are doing both at their house and at bars, and then what Brian's doing, which is a bunch of private parties and stuff like that. Livingston, he's doing stuff all over the place there. So, yeah. All right. So the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, Twitter handle @BowBounds. I do need to make this announcement. Kenny Chesney is coming to Mississippi in May, which is awesome. Part of the C Spire Live concert series. It's going to be right down here, right beside the Masson Healthplex and Performance Center.
Baby.
I already have 6 tickets, so I'm already winning. I had to make sure that my family was good and my kids could both invite a friend. So I'm good to go May 20th, 2017. Kenny Chesney in the house, one of the biggest rock stars. He's a country star, but you know what I mean. One of the top 5 performers right now in the world. It'll be powered by C Spire's live concert series. You better get tickets now. Be a great Christmas present or whatever you celebrate over the holidays. And you can go to cspire.com. I think you can go to cspire.com/concerts. But you can find it on cspire.com. Now, Bo Mattingly stopped by, Razorback Insider. This is what you're facing, Mississippi State, tomorrow night. And I think it's going to be a one-possession game. Could go either way. This is Bo Mattingly, Razorback Insider on the Hogs and Hail State. All right, guys, Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by the GMC Sierra Truck at Fowler Buick GMC in Brandon. You can jump online, FowlerBuickGMC.com. Test drive a GMC Sierra truck this week. You'll love it. I love mine. And they are the #1 truck dealership in central Mississippi. We welcome in Bo Mattingly, Sports Talk with Bo, Razorback Insider on the New Belgium Fat Tire Hotline. And, Bo, good morning. How are you, bud?
I'm doing great, Bo. Thanks for having me, man.
So what's the temp up there right now?
Well, it's warmer than usual, and it's fall. It's up and down, man. It's the roller coaster that Arkansas has been on for 7 weeks. I think people here are right now kind of trying to figure out whether 8-4 would be a good season, given that the record would be good, but Arkansas has been hammered by the better teams in the league, and of course 8-4 is still 2 wins away. So if you're not even to 8 wins yet and you're not sure if it's a good season, I think people are kind of still trying to figure out what to make of this year.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's a Jekyll and Hyde deal with the Razorbacks. At times they've looked really good. I mean, that Ole Miss game, I kept thinking when Riley Williams III ran like he did, and Austin Allen is a much better QB than I thought. You know, I thought they had some things. The close wins early against maybe La Tech and TCU should have been maybe raised some eyebrows. Tell me about the offensive line and compare it to Bielema's offensive line the last couple of years.
It's a big step back. It's a down year on the offensive line. It is not what you need in this system. And to me, it is a real cutting question at the core of a Brett Bielema program who really begins and ends with the offensive line. And if you have a good offensive line, it's just and it just takes care of so many other things. Your defensive line becomes tougher. Your running game is there. You can protect your quarterback. When you don't have it, it goes the opposite direction of all of those things, and you can't win in a lot of leagues that way, but certainly not in this league. As much as this league has changed, there are still great offensive and defensive linemen, more so than any other league. And if you're soft, that's a problem. And for Arkansas, that's what you're building your program on. So going back to the conversation, if they were fortunate enough to figure out a way to beat Mississippi State in Starkville, and I think that's a terrible spot for Arkansas, by the way. But if they're fortunate enough to win that game and then go beat a team that's not very good in Missouri.
Neither one of those teams are very good.
They come out of the season with 8 wins. I mean, it'd be a great year for a soft Razorback team.
I agree. Kind of reminds me of MSU last year. They won 9, and they didn't have much. They didn't have anything on the offensive line, and their offensive line this year's 13th or 14th in the league. What Bo Mattingly, Razorback Insider, Sports Talk with Bo, statewide Sports Talk Radio out of Fayetteville, joining us on the New Belgium Fat Tire Hotline. So, is it losing the offensive line coach to Georgia and Kirby Smart, or is it recruiting, or both, as far as the offensive line woes, Bo?
I think one of the reasons they lost the offensive line coach is because he saw what was going on.
Gotcha.
And I think they've missed on some guys, and it's not been the same. When you lose a guy early, maybe you're having to play players that you weren't expecting to have to go right now. And, that feels more like an excuse than a good reason for a program that's supposed to have good offensive linemen every year. I mean, that's you ask anybody, and I ask people in the off season, hey, what do you think about the offensive line and the guys they're replacing? I'm national college football analysts, and they all said the same thing. Is Brett Bielema still coaching? Oh, he'll have a good offensive line. It's been stunning, really.
I'm expecting a track meet. This Mississippi State team is not good. They have major holes on the offensive line and major holes on the back end of their defense. They can't kick field goals. But yet, I know Arkansas is going to score. I think Mississippi State will be able to run the football, but I'm not totally convinced. Are you expecting a track meet in Starkville Saturday night, Bo?
Pretty much, unless Arkansas's defense has one of those games like they had against Florida, where they figure out a way to tackle and play well. I mean, Nick Fitzgerald is a load, and that's been a problem for Arkansas playing mobile quarterbacks. The one concern I would have from Arkansas's perspective, everything you just said, if they fall in love with the pass, that could be because Mississippi State's not been good defending the pass. Austin Allen and those good Arkansas receivers look at the tape, and the offensive coaches think they can really get State there. If they fall in love with throwing the football, that's not a recipe for winning. Arkansas's got to run for 150 yards. When they run for 150 yards, they're 12-2 since Danny Nose has been the offensive coordinator. When they don't, it's like 1-7 or 8.
Ooh.
It's not pretty. It's a completely different game when they don't rush for 150 yards.
So Raleigh Williams III has to get going, and he has to go well over 100, and then maybe supplement that with another back? Bo?
Well, Devwall Whaley, the freshman, has come on the last couple of games.
Okay.
And I think he might have a higher ceiling. He's bigger and stronger. He can break a tackle a little bit better. They're a great complement to each other, and if they can get the running game going a little bit, I'm not saying Williams won't do what you just described. That's likely if they're going to have a good game there, but expect to see more of 21 too. He's a pretty good back.
All right, say his name again. The freshman.
Devwah Whaley.
Devwah Whaley.
Which he went through about 3 name changes with Arkansas Sports Talk radio callers.
I can't imagine.
Deswa, Whaley, Duva, Wally. It's Devwah Whaley.
Devwah Whaley. All right, number 21. Is he a true freshman or a redshirt freshman?
Yeah,
Bo?
True freshman out of Texas. He was a top 5 back coming out of high school.
Good grief!
Wow,
He's
a big get big get for Arkansas. I thought we'd see more of them early.
Okay.
But, what happens is, the thing about playing in this league, man, and you know this, I mean, Arkansas have played 7 of their 10 games as the underdog.
Yeah.
They were the underdog at TCU. But in this, I mean, you're playing top 10 teams every week. I'm not saying they stay there in the rankings, but they're quality opponents. So you bring a freshman in at running back, and he might be able to run the ball, but can he pass protect?
Exactly.
You know what the check down is. And one miss on that, and, it's an 8-yard sack. So it's taken a little while for him to get on the field, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact he has the next couple of weeks.
All right, Bo Mattingly, Sports Talk with Bo out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Bo, I've only got a couple of minutes here. What is the weakness on the Arkansas defense?
The defensive line. And they're playing without their best weak side linebacker, Dre Greenlaw. And in this system, the weak side linebacker makes a ton of tackles. And so they're playing with a guy who is probably not the SEC caliber weak side linebacker they need. Greenlaw's out. But the D-line has been the biggest issue this season. We thought they were going to be better, but it was, I think, because they played such a weak offensive line all spring and fall.
Ah, okay. Are you going to make the trip?
I don't think I'm going to make this trip.
I don't blame you.
I don't miss many games.
Right.
But as a dad, I have to pick some spots every once in a while. I know you know that.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm going to enjoy this one from the man cave.
Yeah, from